told me, no, you can't. It's impossible to make a long-range, heavy-duty Class 8 truck. And then I asked, well, what are your assumptions about watt-hour kilogram and watt-hours per mile? And they would look at me with a blank stare and then say hydrogen. I'm like, no, that's not the answer. I was looking for numbers. Literally. That's not a number. It's an element on the periodic table. Anyway, you obviously don't need hydrogen for heavy trucking. That's what we're trying to make here. And we'll be ramping up semi-production through next year. As you know, like everyone knows at this point, it takes about a year to ramp up production. So we expect to see significant. We're tentatively aiming for 50,000 units in 2024 for Tesla Semi in North America, and obviously we'll expand beyond North America. And these would sell. I don't want to say what exact prices, but they're much more than a passenger vehicle. So the 50,000 heavy trucks of this nature would be worth several Model Ys.
Thanks once again for joining us. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. After we did our first show on the Semi and Elon's 50K plan, there are a number of points that sort of came up that we wanted to review based on our research. The first of those points is that it turns out that Tesla is going to be somewhere in the 10 to 20,000 trucks in 2023, heading into the stated approximately 50,000 trucks in 2024. Now, one of the key components of what Elon likes to do is a practice that's called Upod, or under promise and over deliver. So in general, what Elon tends to do, and you'll notice this from the numbers over the last, let's say, 3 years of Tesla, is Elon enjoyed discussing 50% growth and delivering between 80 and 100% on an annual basis. So the street developed a process where they would take Elon's promised number and simply increase that number to reflect a more accurate finished product than Elon might be willing to do. Now, what does this have to do with the Semi? Well, as you noticed, Elon talked about 50,000 vehicles in 2024. Therefore, what we're forecasting is that Elon/Tesla's actual production should be somewhere between 60 and 70,000 vehicles. And I believe that number is somewhat conservative, and that it's possible that he'll push towards, the 80 to 90 zone. But I think a 60 to 70,000 produced in 24 is a very highly likely circumstance. So yes, we're going to see some nice push on the stock relative to this, but I think that number could actually be much higher than expected. The next thing that I wanted to review here is competitive advantage, disadvantage. So right now, one of the biggest lurking question marks out there is Daimler-Benz owns 42% of the market for trucks in the globe, and definitely that market share in the United States market. We expect to see Daimler and other makes lose a lot of customers, and therefore it's going to affect them in a big way in terms of number of employees, stock price, etc. We're actually looking forward to reviewing a show on Daimler because Elon enlisted the help of Daimler back in 2008 as it was sort of growing into what it's become, and the two severed relationships in 2015, and then Daimler chose to sell their Tesla stock. Since then, Daimler's been working hard to reel in Elon and Tesla when it comes to battery software and technology that it takes to deliver in this electric space. And unfortunately, they haven't made much progress in doing so, which is articulated by their trucking solutions really not doing that great right now in terms of satisfied customers working with their electric truck products of different sizes. Daimler is in manufacture of kind of a light-duty semi-truck, but the Class 8, the biggest size, most often used, is not the space that they're feeling most confident in manufacturing in currently, but they've promised to do so in 23. One other question that's been lurking about the Semi that I think I've been watching for to understand better is that it was our thought that Tesla would switch to the 4680 from the 2170 battery as a way to reduce weight and therefore make it a truck that could carry a full load of freight, something like 50,000 pounds, when their max allowed is 82K. So the suggestion or assumption was that the truck actually didn't work, and Tesla is engaging in a whole bunch of secrecy in this process prior to delivery. I just wanted to note, I'm expecting secrecy to be maintained. A splashy introduction doesn't mean that there's going to be any activity on Tesla's part to reveal how it's able to deliver these vehicles. And one of our friends of the show with a lot of knowledge of Tesla and its process indicated to us that what would likely happen is that you'll see 100,000 trucks or so out there before competitors get a real chance to tear down the vehicle and understand how and what Tesla's doing technology-wise so they can try to replicate this in the marketplace. So stay tuned, because the suggestion is that it looks as though Tesla cannot deliver the truck with the specs it's delivered. But once it does deliver those, expect there to be a rapid transition over to buying Tesla semis, and the numbers will truly be devastating. There are a lot of statistics that are going to roll out, but one of the thinking points that we wanted to throw out that we were informed of is that Tesla's 500-mile truck will fill up on about $200 worth of electricity. The 1,000-mile or 900-mile semis that currently, roll around the country take between $800 and $900 to fill up, and they're getting about 900 miles. So if you sort of do a like for like in theory, we're also going to see Tesla Semi able to fill up for about $400 when competing to get you 1,000 miles, where competing diesel trucks are going to be spending about $900 to get the same amount of freight moved or the same distance of freight moved. So with these kind of numbers that are going to spin off from the transition to Tesla electric, a 50% cut in fuel cost would actually mean a huge savings for small and large trucking entities, and the competitive disadvantage by not transitioning to Tesla could be prohibitive for those organizations that choose not to join. Hence, why we're seeing Schneider and FedEx and UPS and all the other major firms putting in orders to Tesla with plans to shift their fleet over as they can confirm on the road that this is truly the miracle that Elon is describing. So we'll definitely keep you posted with more information on the trucks, and hope you found the sort of raw data here useful. And all I can say is get in on Tesla while you can, because this second or third leg of growth for the company, I think, is going to be its most dramatic, because it's one thing to deliver a vehicle to consumers where they have a choice between transitioning between electric and gas. But when it comes to truckers, and Tesla delivers, I'll call it, competitive operating components, the trucking entities won't have a choice. They're going to be either switch to Tesla or go out of business. And the early adopters will benefit greatly from this. Anyway, I want to thank you for taking time to join us for another round of what's going on with the Tesla trucks. We look forward to your comments and input. Please also note our health tip today is related to sort of back pain. It was recommended by a physical therapist that you do sort of backward back bends 3 to 5 times a day as a way to make up for the fact that most people are sitting or crouched over forward, and they're not doing back bends backwards during the workday, is our health tip for the show. Anyway, once again, thanks for joining us. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Tschüss, au revoir, lehitrot, choda hafiz, zdravствуйте, ni hao ma, konbanwa, arrivederci. And in Jamaica, we say enough respect, walk good man. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and bye for now.